All right, Fantasia Fest, film number 4. This got picked by me because it was animation, and I feel like not only is there not enough horror animation in general, but the amount of animated films that we've covered on this channel is like none.
Yeah,
like,
we very rarely cover animated movies.
I'm trying to even remember a single one off the top of my head. We've done we did that Mad God one, which was claymation, but actual hand-drawn animation. Anyway, this one's rotoscope, which is a technique that's not used a whole that much. Lord of the Rings, the OG 70s one, is a example of that. Richard Linklater's Scanner Darkly, Spine of Night was the most recent one that I'm aware of. But it's a rare one where you have live action actors and then they animate over them, which is cool. And I knew that's what this was, as did you, kind of immediately. It's a very obvious style. Anyway, this is Latvian, which we had that movie from last year called Flow, which won the best animated foreign feature, I think is what it won. And everyone was praising that, and you loved it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I quite enjoyed it, but she loved it.
It's kind of a perfect film.
So this is nothing like that
Not
at all in any way, shape, or form.
This definitely is horror.
This is set in the 17th century, in what is now known as the Baltic region. I think the town might. It's either. Oh no! It said it's like an old town now that's no longer a thing. I forget what the name of the town is. And essentially, what happens is this piece of hay that's what is it again? It's
a holy straw from the manger that baby Jesus was kept in.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of Catholic churches and stuff, they'll have relics from I think there's a word for it. There's the relics, which are usually I think pieces of a body part of a saint, right? They'll have a finger from a saint or whatever, and it's a holy relic. I think it's called relic.
How morbid.
There might be something different. So I don't know if this counts as a relic because it's not a body part. I don't know if it needs to be a body part or if it can just be whatever. But it's supposed to be a piece of straw from the manger of baby Jesus.
The only thing I've ever seen that in personally is just recently when we watched Evil.
It's also in First Omen.
Is it? God,
yes, there's a section of that, and
I'd have to
it's something that I've known about. But
anyway, this thing goes missing, and the priest is freaking out, wants it back. There's an impotent baron who really all he cares about is getting it up so that he can impregnate his wife, have an heir, and fuck the world, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he can't, and so there's this woman who works as a bartender, and she also kind of dabbles in medicine, but of course, a woman doing anything back then is witchcraft. So yeah, essentially they're just trying to figure out who stole this piece of hay. And this other dude wants a hard on. I mean, it's an interesting film. It is super sexual. It has a lot of dark comedy in it. Overall, I didn't really care for this one, unfortunately. I just didn't find things to be that engaging. I'm usually somebody who, if the imagery is crazy enough, and there's some wild imagery in this, at times, but it just takes so long to kind of get going and do anything. And you didn't seem to have this problem, so I don't know what this was, but I had a really hard time following what was going on. This obviously is not in English. We did have subtitles, and we were having issues with the subtitles in our screener, and I had to keep kind of messing around with them, so that could have broken up the flow. We also broke this into a couple different sittings. That can be a thing. We watched movies in between our sittings. So I hate doing that. I really, really don't want to do that, but that's just the time we had.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I had a harder time following it. I didn't find the story that interesting. I found things confusing, and then, it deals with witchcrafts as well as werewolves, and the werewolf stuff is like, it's there, but it's so sparse. And then the way it ends, I was kind of like, huh? Why were they doing that? So, I don't know. I was not... I wish I was into this one. I just wasn't.
Yeah, I ultimately didn't like the film as much as I wanted to. I'm always impressed with animation, like that's always something that I think is really cool and like just takes a lot of people and a lot of talent. So I liked the art style fine. Like I think there's some like cool stylized moments in the film that I was like into, but I wasn't really that into the story, I guess, is like my main problem. And it is kind of a confusing story at times.
The movie starts with like the devil getting his testicles stolen.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the Baron like has his testicles.
It's definitely a really weird movie. It is really weird.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that like it was made because I think that it'll have its audience. Honestly,
100%.
It feels very like kind of like metal. Like that's like what it reminds me of. Like,
heavy metal.
Yeah, like heavy metal. Like,
that's exactly what I thought.
Like almost. It just has that vibe. Like the religious stuff going on. The like graphic. Nudity and sexuality 100%. And like there's some gore and stuff, and so all stuff that I like too.
I've never seen heavy metal,
but
I think I saw Heavy Metal 2000 when I was a kid, but I don't think I've ever actually watched it. But this is 100% what that was reminding me of from all the clips I've seen of heavy metal over the years.
But I just felt, I don't know, I wasn't connecting to the story enough, unfortunately, and I didn't really vibe with any of the characters that much either.
Same.
So I don't know. And although I could follow the story, like I didn't really have the problem that you had. I do still think that it is confusing at times.
Yeah.
It definitely isn't like a hand-holdy film, and yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, it just kind of ended up not being for us. But like I said, I do think that there'll be a group of people that'll be super into this.
Yes.
And so I do like want to recommend it to people that like. That style, and definitely if you're a fan of animated horror, it's something that you should check out. Like,
yes.
But just I guess be aware that from our perspective, it is a little confusing and just kind of all over the place with the story, I suppose.
I feel like that's common though.
Yeah.
I feel like these types of movies, these animated, bizarre films, this is how they play out, and this is why we don't cover them on the channel much, and this is why I don't watch them almost ever, is because I kind of have the same experience with most of them. So I think you are 100% correct, and I thought that the whole time. Like, this will 100% have its audience.
Yeah.
The people who are into movies like this, I think this is going to be something that they really enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of those people. So I'm not the target audience. I'm not the right audience for this film. And so I absolutely implore anybody who is into bizarre sexual animation. And I do wonder if there is a bit of context missing for me just off of like either lore, folklore, whatever. Because yeah, this is like a folk tale that is, this German Latvia production, and I do wonder if there's any kind of cultural disconnect that maybe people in the in that area are like, oh, this is a famous tale,
sure,
that
yeah.
Everyone knows about whatever, and it's like, oh, I don't know shit about that, so that's why I'm not immediately connecting with whatever the hell they're trying to put down. So that could be an issue, but also the very more obvious issue is that I'm typically not into films like this, but I wanted to give it a chance. Because I don't do it very often, and I saw it was at the festival. I was like, perfect chance.
Yeah.
And I watched the trailer, and it was super sexual, and I like that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. If I can vibe with that, it gets really bizarre and the story goes nuts with things, then I could really enjoy this.
Yeah.
But it just plodded along at times for a long period of time where I was like, I wish more shit was happening. Because, like, the last 10, 15 minutes of this movie does go pretty crazy and insane. And I was like, okay, more of the movie was like that.
Yeah.
And there was some story elements I could just grab onto to intrigue me. I don't have to completely get it or anything. Just vibe with it.
Yeah.
Then I would have been totally on board with this.
Sure.
But I just never really vibed with the film.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
There's some takeaways. There's some memorable scenes and moments.
Oh, for sure.
With like this UFO vagina. You won't know what I'm
it
talking
is
about until you see it.
Very wild, very trippy.
You're like,
sure.
Oh, okay. Like that kind of stuff. That imagery was fun, funny. Like that's the kind of the dark humor of things.
Yeah.
But I was just, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Lot of hypersexual imagery. Do
For
not
sure.
watch this. Like, this is that type of movie your mom walks in on you watching.
Oh my God.
And you're like, of all the things you could have walked in on right now, this is fucking crazy. But it's only maybe 10% of the movie.
But it's graphic. It's a graphic
film. It is very
for
graphic.
Sure. So be warned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of it. I guess that's really all I have to say.
Same.
Not for us, but definitely for somebody.
Yeah, if it sounds up your alley,
so, yeah,
100%
please check it out.
Check out a trailer. Look forward to it. We have no release dates for anything. This is just kind of a reaction to these films before they, I think, even have distribution, most of them. So, but look out for it. For any hardcore animation fans who like weird films and don't mind, plots that don't fully make perfect sense. Look for it. Check it out. Let us know if you love it and how stupid we are, and explain the background, mythology, and everything that we're missing. And other than that, we'll see you in the comments. Adios.
Bye.